Hey everybody, welcome to the Oscars, hosted by the Pandora Theater. I'm Clint Schaffer.
And I'm Chad Weeks, and we're a couple guys who like movies and like to talk about movies. Clint, might I say you're looking pretty dapper over there.
Well, thank you, good sir. That's because this episode is brought to you by Ducky's Formal Wear in Galesburg, Illinois. And they dressed me in this beautiful purple-lined Michael Kors tuxedo. So I'm feeling good this evening. So
As you should, my friend.
Chad, you're looking very James Bondy over there. So what are you dressed
Absolutely.
in?
That's probably the best compliment you can give a guy right there. So I actually am wearing a Jean-Yves number. Okay, this is a Jean-Yves number, and if you're interested in getting some formal wear for your upcoming wedding, prom, homecoming, whatever it may be, stop in and talk to Diane Vandesant at the Galesburg location of Ducky's Formal Wear. She was a great help.
Oh, Diane was such a pleasure to work with. We stopped there. It was an incredibly busy day with all the kids getting all their stuff for prom, and she was more than helpful for us. And I tell you what, she has us looking good, Chad.
She sure did. Yeah, absolutely. Took a lot of time with us and helped us out with a lot of things that we didn't.
Hey, bringing the slim fit look to the podcast here. That's what's happening.
Absolutely. Love it.
Well, hey, with that, grab your popcorn.
Fill up your drinks.
And enjoy the show. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Oscars, hosted by the Pandora Theater. Chad, there's a lot of action going down there at the red carpet. What's your thoughts this year on all the nominations?
Yeah, so I guess the big thing for me is that this year I can't say there's any movies that I just absolutely can't stand.
So like Nebraska's not on the list.
Yeah, no Nebraska, no Roma, none of those type of movies. They were all really good movies, I feel like, in my opinion.
Yeah, I didn't get through the entire list, but I got through a majority of them, and I have to say I was incredibly impressed this year, right? Especially with unique year that we had in 2020. A lot of these are streaming services movies.
Yeah, so it's a lot easier to they're more accessible, right? So for the casual fan, this is a great time of year to be able to watch. This is the first year where 90% of these movies you can go out and stream them right now. I mean, 100% of them you can. You just might have to be able to pay for them or whatever whatever at some capacity. But you can watch all the movies in the Oscars this year, so everybody should be able to caught up. Like usually it's like you have one that's just in theaters or it barely hit theaters and you have to wait for it to be on DVD.
Yeah, a limited release before the Oscars, so they
correct,
didn't even,
which was always really
get here. Right?
Yeah, which is really frustrating to me because you want to watch all the movies. Like, well, I have no way possible unless I drive to Iowa City, which is for us is like an hour and 15 minutes away, to go see this movie, and it never made any sense to me.
Well, even on some of them, I think was it Judas and the Black Messiah. I think that hit theaters, but it also came out on HBO.
I think you're right.
At the same time.
I think you're right.
Which again made it to where if you have HBO Max, you could watch that film.
Was that one on HBO Max? Because
no, that's where I watched it at. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So it was on HBO Max for a limited run.
Oh.
And then they removed it off of HBO Max, and now I believe, at least the last time I looked, you got to rent it through like Amazon's $20.
Yeah, it was $20,
watch.
and that's why
yeah.
I was trying to crunch the last two movies that I hadn't seen was Judas and the Black Messiah and Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. And the deciding factor with
Another good one.
Yeah, the deciding factor for me was the $20 for Judas and free on Netflix for Ma Rainey. So I'm like, we'll go with that one. But
yeah.
So let's go through the best pictures, though. Let's talk about each one of those a little bit. You got time for that?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I
All
think
right.
that's what we're here for, right?
Absolutely.
So first on the red carpet is
The Father.
The Father.
All right. What are your thoughts on this one? So The Father was a movie starring Anthony Hopkins.
Yep.
And it's about basically a man who's struggling with dementia, but it's being told from his perspective. So
yeah, it's kind of through his point of view, right? Which if you don't understand that going into it, it's really confusing.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And because a lot of things, I mean, if you think of somebody going through dementia, there's a lot of things that are happening that that only they see, right?
Yep.
And so to get your head wrapped around that in the first, I don't know, probably half hour of that movie, that was probably the biggest struggle, right?
Yep.
But the acting of Anthony Hopkins, as always, absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah. I think Anthony Hopkins, Olivia Colman was the daughter on there, but I think Anthony Hopkins really, really sold this one because, I mean, man, especially when you know him as such a I mean, such an honorable actor. Like he's been at the top of his game for so many years, and he's been this specimen of acting. He's been an example of acting, and now he's doing this more vulnerable role. And I really, really liked the way he portrayed it. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, you bring that up, like that vulnerable role, right? It's one of those where this is, and we've seen it through a lot of actors. I think of like, watching some of the movies from Michael Caine and Robert Duvall and some of those guys, right, as they kind of progressed into their later years, right? And this was that role for Anthony Hopkins. He's not Odin in this one, right?
No. But you're not king. Not yet.
And so it was an interesting play. I almost look back and it was very similar to, again, Robert Duvall and The Judge.
Yeah.
Was that kind of a role, right?
Yeah.
And the last, I'm going to say probably 15 minutes of this movie, incredibly hard to watch.
Yeah. So I totally agree with you. Like it's very brutal. It's almost, I don't want to give too much away from it, but it's a very realistic thing that I think a lot of people are dealing with, and maybe it's something that will give you an idea. I mean, and I'm sure a lot of people try to understand that, but it's very telling the way it's through his eyes and that sort of thing.
There were two things that really stuck out while watching this movie is, and luckily I guess, and I haven't had to personally watch this happen to any of my loved ones. Thankfully for that. But one of the things that it opened up my eyes to is the reality that the individual going through it has.
Yep.
And then the second part of that is the impact that has on the family.
Correct.
Right? And some of the things that are said and the things that are just happening that so much of it you'd have to grow a pretty thick layer of skin to just say, this person's going through a lot. I can't take everything at face value, right?
Yeah. And I think that it's a welcomed approach to it too. Like we had The Judge, like you talked about, and that was a good angle on it. But I feel like this is a very welcomed approach because it's from their perspective instead of just seeing the family, seeing him. It's him. It's what he sees, how things, and it's perfect.
Don't you almost feel that to some extent it's almost similar to Joaquin Phoenix and the Joker? Right? Like it was almost like that similar path of kind of what was kind of happening
there were
in
little
their
clues
life.
to the broken reality as you went through that. Like Caleb pointed out the door. Like that's the same door. The door's changed here and it's this one. And there were little things here and there that you could point out that was just pointing to a broken reality, just like the Joker. Like you say, like the clocks on the wall and that sort of thing that just let you know we're not dealing with something that's completely the way it seems, not at face value. But So what is your overall thought? That's a recommend to watch?
Yeah. I mean, like a lot of movies like that, right? That I would say are deeply emotional and touching, and like I said, at the end, incredibly hard to watch. Some of those movies to me I would rank them as they're almost too real, right?
Yep.
Definitely worth a watch, but probably that's it.
Just once.
Probably once.
One watch. I get that. Yep.
Like I just don't know if I want to endure that anymore.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. All right, one watch. I agree with you on that one.
But Anthony Hopkins, I would state this has been his like best acting role since Hannibal Lecter. I mean, it's just he was phenomenal in this.
Yeah, and I want to talk about the best actor too because like I mean he's got to be in the conversation. We'll get to that in a little bit. But okay, so next, Judas and the Black Messiah.
Yeah. Judas and the Black Messiah was a really interesting take, right? And what was fun about this? I
haven't seen it here, so
when you watch Trial of the Chicago 7, and then we'll also watch Judas and the Black Messiah, there's a lot of ties, right? That start going in. But this is really, I mean, this is a true story about the leader of the Chicago Black Panthers, Fred Hampton, and basically a low-level petty criminal that gets caught stealing cars, right? And basically gets told either he's going to go to prison or he has to go on the inside of the Black Panthers and be an informant, right?
Oh, really? Okay, I got you.
And so that, if you think about the title of this movie, Judas That's the disciple that turned on Jesus.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's Judas and the Black Messiah. So the Judas in this is Bill O'Neill. He was the criminal that basically got the trust of Fred Hampton. Did all of these things, to look like he was helping out the Black Panther Party at that point in time, and ultimately was there to completely sabotage him.
Absolutely.
Right.
So Fred Hampton, was he the one that was in? He was the leader, so he was the one in the trial of Chicago 7, but he wasn't the one that actually went to trial. Is that correct?
Yeah, he wasn't the one sitting in trial. I can't
remember what his name was. And I hate to put you on the spot like that, but I totally did. And I should have mentioned this, but because I know that there was some overlap there on that.
That was Bobby Seale.
Bobby Seale, yeah.
Bobby Seale was the one that was in the trial. He was on trial.
Now, Abdul Mathen, I think is what his name was.
So the interesting part on Judas and the Black Messiah, the picture that they drew of Bobby Seale all shackled up, right? Or bound up, however you'd want to word that. That is in Judas and the Black Messiah.
Really?
That picture is. Yeah.
Okay.
Because this is all happening at very similar times, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah. So, yes. I mean, I think they both tie into each other, which I think is very cool. That they are both nominated this year for Best Pictures.
Yeah. The other part on Judas and the Black Messiah, Jesse Plemons is he's the guy off of, like, the only place I can really remember him is the creep off Breaking Bad.
Oh, he's the creep on like every movie. He's also the creep in the game, the movie about a game night. And I think
that's right. Yeah.
I think he's in another movie with the same cast, and he's even creepier. And I don't want to go into that one too much because it's very.
But the interesting part about his, you immediately hate this guy.
I hate him. I can't stand to see him.
I don't think he could play a role that you're not going to hate.
No,
right? Which actually, I go to say, it shows that his acting ability is phenomenal.
Oh yeah,
like I mean, it is great.
Is his acting ability that good, or is it just the punchable face?
I think anytime that you hate somebody because of the roles that they play, it means that they are a phenomenal actor.
Yeah, I agree, but I also just think. He's got a very
his
punchable
face probably works into that.
There was another movie that Kayla and I just recently watched that had him in it, and it was all about his going into like psychosis type of thing, actually. And it was a very interesting. I can't think of the name of the movie right now, but also it's just I can't stand to see him.
Yeah, no, and so again on the plot of this, and there will be a few like touching on spoilers here, but without getting into the actual movie itself, what you do find out at the very end, again, it's based off a true story, right? Mm-hmm. And so they end up interviewing Bill O'Neill at the end of it, and this
like
is
the real Bill O'Neill.
Yeah, this is probably in the 80s, like 89, I think maybe. 86, I can't remember what the year was, but it was in the 80s, and he did an interview and basically stating that kind of his role in that, and ultimately, like shortly after that, like just a few days afterwards, ended up committing suicide. So
wow.
But I mean, it was a powerful story. So
did you feel like this? I mean, it took its toll on him, obviously. I mean, if he committed suicide, was that the reasoning? You think?
No, I mean, I think there was a lot of things
like
that
betrayal, like the
there was because he got high enough in the ranks, and he got the trust of Fred Hampton to get high enough in the ranks that there was a few spots that he played a key role.
Yeah.
But he also played the primary role in the ultimate demise of Fred Hampton, though, too. Yeah. So, I mean, there was just it was a lot of ups and downs. You felt, bad for different characters for what they're going through, but in the end, it's like, man, if you get under the thumb of law enforcement like that, like it just shows that there's it's a powerful piece, right?
Yeah. So it's basically a lot like Fast and the Furious, where he's in too deep, and the next thing you know, he's okay, maybe not.
I just don't know if you want to go on record comparing Fast and the Furious to Judas and the Black Messiah.
No. I get it. But
great movie.
Yeah. So I should watch that, but I'm going to watch it.
Yeah.
I'm going to watch it. I've got until.
I would say it's well worth the watch, and unlike The Father, this is something I'll probably rewatch at some point in time.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Rewatchability then too.
Yeah, there is a rewatchability piece to this. I think there's a lot of little clues and stuff that you can pick up on. The other piece to that is it's a part of our history, and just to understand that a little bit better, hey, it's always cool to go through that. So
yeah, absolutely. So I will definitely watch it before the Oscars. I just haven't had a chance yet. So like I said, I mean, a lot of movies here. So with that, you want to move on to the trial of Chicago 7 since they kind of tie into each other.
Yeah. Man, I would say another, a star-studded cast.
Yeah, star-studded cast because we've got, well, first off, Sacha Baron Cohen, who, man, he was good in that.
This is the first, before we get too deep into it, this is the first streaming movie, right? Like, this was produced by Netflix, right?
Yeah, this would have been produced by Netflix.
I think this was a streaming specific movie. If I'm not totally, which is just kind of, that's a new thing for movies, right? Yeah. Of having the producing company being a streaming service. So
yeah, absolutely.
Sacha Baron Cohen. He played the role that you wanted to continue to keep seeing him on screen.
Yeah.
And it was one of those where it was just lighthearted enough for his character and just serious enough as well.
Well, and that's just it. I know this movie was a very serious movie, very serious subject, and like it was, I mean, huge ramifications for history itself. But in the same sense, like I don't know that there was a movie on the list that was as much fun that we're going to be talking about here that had as much fun as what Trial of Chicago 7 was, because of the fact that it had Sacha Baron Cohen.
Promising Young Woman.
I knew you were going to go there.
Has more fun in it than anything else.
I get that too. I was going to, if there was another one to challenge, it'd be
dark
that.
fun, but it's fun.
Yeah.
So.
But no, also you have Joseph Gordon-Levitt, who I was just recently thinking, like, what happened to Joseph Gordon-Levitt? He was so big. I mean, like, he was at the top of his game, and then all of a sudden he just kind of faded off, and now he comes back, and he was the lawyer, the prosecuting attorney on this.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you exactly where JGL has been here, but I would think that he has probably not dropped out of any limelight by any means. He's probably, I could see him. He's got to be directing, or he's got to have some. I
would sure think so.
He's got to be doing something.
I haven't heard as much from him as I have.
Yeah, that guy is incredibly talented.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But I'm just saying, like, at one point we had a new Joseph Gordon-Levitt movie, like every 6 months, just hammering out, and he was the lead actor in all of them. And I don't know, it just kind of stopped all of a sudden. You also have Eddie Redmayne, who is quickly becoming the guy that's like, if you want an Oscar, put Eddie Redmayne in your movie, and he'll get you one of those.
I loved the going back to Sacha Baron Cohen and who was the main guy, who played the main
Eddie Redmayne. I would say
Eddie Redmayne. Would be the primary guy there. The chemistry between those two,
as almost antagonists,
and I enjoyed it when they realized that he made a grammatical error in his speech. Do you remember that? Like the way that he worded it was, I'm not going to be able to word it right, but like he left out a word, which makes it like he left out R.
Yeah.
And so he's going to say, spill the blood, right, in the streets, when he was trying to say, spill our blood in the streets, right?
Yeah.
If you remember that, like, it was a huge moment because that was a key thing of what the trial was about. And to see Sacha Baron Cohen, his character, finally get it, and truly you've seen the respect between the two men, because he's like, I have watched every one of your speeches. I have read every one of your papers. This is what you did.
Yeah.
I understand what you did. And at that point, it was the first time that you actually kind of seen those two come together. And it's like, they don't hate each other. They truly respect each other.
Yeah, exactly. And in the same scene, it's like they could almost go into an actual fist fight here, but it's because they respect each other. And it's very cool.
Yeah. So that was a lot of powerful moments in there. The other piece that I would state there is the judge was just a total piece of crap.
Oh, like, how can that be allowed? Like, I know it wasn't, but like, Frank Langella is who played the judge, and literally the whole time it's like, this can't be real. This can't be what really happened. And by God, it was factual. Like, I can't believe that this is a true story.
it just goes. I don't know. Like on that aspect, it felt like the judge up there just not listening to any facts and just he was trying to be the prosecutor.
Yeah, he was. He was just trying to be the chief, the commander. He just wanted to be heard. I don't know, just very.
And then and we touched on it on Judas and the Black Messiah to literally put somebody in ropes and cloth or whatever that he was tied up with, but just literally bounded up somebody in the courtroom. Oh man.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just
history. That's what,
Yeah, it's there.
Part of our history right there. So
yeah.
But
great movie, by the way.
Great movie. Yeah, fantastic movie. I think that is the easiest movie on this list to watch as far as it's the most like if there was a blockbuster on here, something that's easy for everybody to watch, I think that would probably be it, right?
Yeah, I can see that.
I like the cinematography too. I feel like they did a lot of back and forth with the way that the angles they used with the camera, the way they went back and forth on the riot scenes and stuff like that. I really like that. So I think this is probably like the most watchable movie.
I would put that as a rewatch as well. Yep. It's on my list to rewatch because there's so many point of views.
Yep.
And there's a lot of storylines that are kind of all going on at the same time that I'd like to go back and catch back up on.
Hearing the first story after you know what the last story is,
exactly.
that sort of thing. Yeah, will help out with that. So yeah, totally agree. So next we've got Mank. Let's go with Mank.
Mank, yeah. So I watched about 15 minutes of this movie, and then I just decided that I was going to let you watch it.
Yeah. So I watched Mank. My wife and I watched that one. I enjoyed it. I think it was a good movie, although. Again, Mank is a movie about Herman Mankiewicz, and as he's writing the movie, what was it?
Citizen Kane.
Citizen Kane, yeah. So, have you seen Citizen Kane?
See, I think so. I haven't, right? And that's supposed to be like one of the greatest written movies ever, right?
Yeah.
I think had I watched that and had some appreciation to Citizen Kane, I think Mank would have been a little bit easier to watch.
Yeah.
But you watch it with no context on that, and it's like it just didn't have the hold me in power.
So here's the thing. So that's on our movie poster. I got you that. So it was on ours. Kayla and I watched Citizen Kane, and then we watched Mank. Kind of as a follow up or as a lead into, and first off, Citizen Kane.
Good movie?
Yeah, great movie. Right. You want to talk about
like a 4-hour movie though?
Oh, I don't think it's that long.
Oh, I
think it's probably 3 hours.
Okay.
But you want to talk about a movie that is all about cinematography? It's that one. It's very good. I really enjoyed it. It's really good. But anyway, regardless, this movie kind of had the same tone to that. So I think that would be one of the reasons why.
Where you can see a good tie between the two.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Just there's an artistry in there. I would not say that Mank is like a great movie. I just think that it was a good movie, and there was a lot of artistry. There's a lot of that. There was a lot of cinematography, that sort of thing.
That's the one thing that I could definitely tell. And what I did enjoy about my 15, 20 minutes that I did watch of it. There is an appreciation there that I would say, again, it's a documentary, right?
Yep.
That in a movie format, which I think is really interesting. I would like to eventually finish watching it. The other thing that I could say is watching it, of course, it's in black and white, right? It's better than Nebraska, so at least it's got that going for it. But I could tell that there was a lot of focus to make sure that they were bringing in the appeal of the 40s and 50s movies, right? Like they were definitely trying to make sure that they had that flair to it.
That's exactly right. They were trying to tie in that, and you could totally see that. You missed some really good payoffs because obviously Gary Oldman is playing Herman Mankiewicz, and he's a bit of a drunk, and not a bit, he is a drunk.
I don't think there was a bit right there.
But it gets so escalated later on that there's some scenes that later on when he confronts a group of producers, I believe it was. You gotta stick with that one. You gotta finish it. It's worth the watch. You gotta watch it once. If you're into the Oscars, you gotta watch it once because I think this movie probably will win cinematography.
I could see that. Yeah.
I mean, just because of the.
Is Gary Oldman the exact same human being as William H. Macy?
No, he's not, Clint. Oh my God!
Is he
stop
just
it.
the same?
Okay, so a little backstory. Clint hates William H. Macy.
No, I don't hate William H. Macy. I just say that he always plays like.
Put William H. Macy up here because most people won't even know who William H.
Come
Macy
on
is.
now.
But
Fargo and all those.
Yeah.
Shameless, right?
yeah.
That's-
Shameless. Yeah, you're right. So Shameless is a thing now. But no. Gary Oldman has some absolutely incredible roles. He was Commissioner Gordon. He's he got a bug.
Oh, you got a bug right there. Yeah.
He's also what's the movie, the Quentin Tarantino movie where he was the gangster, one of his first ones, True Romance.
Oh, True Romance. Wasn't that the first one?
That
right?
was his first movie, I believe. And True Romance, he played like a gangster in that one, and super cool.
I'm not
role.
saying I don't like his.
Gary Oldman's great.
I'm not saying that William H. Macy isn't great.
You kind of did.
I'm saying that they have a little bit of a cheese factor to them.
They do not. I will not stand behind that. I will not stand for this.
I think that Gary Oldman's commissioner, Gordon, had a cheese factor to it.
Oh, Clint. This is
I'm sorry. That's where I stand.
I want everyone out there to absolutely chastise Clint over this one because this is blasphemous. Gary Oldman, you're gonna say is William H. Macy. Right? This is terrible. This is the worst take you've had so far. I'm upset about this one. I can't believe you're even comparing them.
Well, hey, we got to have some arguments somewhere down the line, right?
Yeah. So anyway,
I feel like at least my argument is a little bit better because I am dressed absolutely wonderfully tonight thanks to Ducky's Formal Wear in Galesburg, Illinois.
Absolutely.
And it just makes an argument even better when you're dressed like this.
Absolutely. Next time, we should have brought pipes or something like that. I feel like I was going to do
I was going to wear my top hat.
Yeah. Well, I got my
missed opportunity. Yeah. Your hair looks nice, by the way.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thanks to my hairdresser at Expression Salon.
Yeah, there you go.
A little name drop there.
Oh, look at that. Just throwing it out
See
everywhere.
Jess at Expression Salon. Okay, so Mank, one more thing on Mank. Amanda Seyfried. I don't know if
yeah.
She was great in there. Like, she's never really gotten
Well, I just watched a movie. Wasn't she the one off of In Time with
Was she in Time?
Wasn't
Justin
Timberlake? Wasn't it her?
It's been years since I've seen that one. So I mean, if I think of Amanda Seyfried, I think of Mean Girls. So
no, it had to have been. Yeah, she had to have been the one on In Time.
All right. Well,
I just the reason why I bring that up, not like In Time's like an Oscar-worthy film,
but it's a great movie.
Great movie. Great concept of a movie too.
Absolutely.
But we literally just watched it like I don't know.
Well, I
think
I saw it on like HBO Max or something like that. I'm like, I should probably just sit down and watch In Time again because
I'm going to be the guy that's going to Google that right now.
Yeah. All right. Fair enough. I'm going to. What's our next? Oh, let's talk about Minari then. Have you seen Minari?
I have not. No.
Okay, so
Amanda Seyfried.
Okay.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
There you go.
Beautiful.
There you go.
That's a great movie. If you haven't seen In Time, go watch In Time.
It is a good time.
Yeah.
That's a nice watch you got on there.
Okay, so Minari. Minari is a movie about a group of Korean folk who moved from California to Arkansas. Okay.
Oh, okay.
So it's funny because I'm working on a garage at my house right now, and one of the first scenes they have there is they have a divine rod or a witching stick or whatever you call it.
Oh, for water?
Yeah. So they're out there with this, and they're talking to this guy, this crazy guy who's just walking around with a stick and finds water in a bucket, that sort of thing. And he's telling this kid, he's giving him this life lesson. He's like, we're gonna grow Korean vegetables here. He's like, but we're not going to use a stick. We're going to use our intelligence, and we're going to find this thing. And they do. They start this thing, and they get this great farm going on. Do me a favor while you got the Google open up, look up Minari and look up who played his helper in there. I can't think of his name, but the supporting roles in there. The best supporting actor was fantastic. But anyway, just recently, I'm having this done at my house. And the city guy comes over there with these witching sticks. I'm like, here they are again.
Witching sticks.
Yeah. But no, ultimately the witching stick was much more accurate than their
Stephen
science.
Yeun is in this?
Yeah, Stephen Yeun. Glenn.
Glenn's
the main character.
No kidding.
Yeah. Plays Jacob.
He is also the main character in Invincible.
Yes, he's the lead voice in Invincible.
Yeah, are you caught up?
Oh yeah, I'm caught up on Invincible.
Oh.
Yeah, every Friday. That's the first thing I watch. I don't have to wait for my wife on that one. I watch that one immediately.
That is an entirely different podcast, but we will definitely be doing a podcast on Invincible.
One, right? Yeah,
absolutely. I'm not going to say fantastic because Chad and I realized that on our podcast, we overuse the word fantastic. So
yeah, we do. So let's just call it out right now and just say when we say fantastic, we should be using. We're actually going to get
any
a
other
source.
word.
Yeah, anything else? Insert. I'm not a big fan of
Invincible
amazing.
is phenomenal.
Phenomenal. Yeah, awesome.
Superb.
Glorious.
I like glorious.
Yeah, glorious.
That's a good word.
Yeah.
Good
Anyway,
word.
moving on. So in Minari, ultimately the word Minari, it's a type of vegetable, basically. So they're trying to grow vegetables, Korean vegetables, and it's basically the struggles of their lives. So there's a lot of racism that comes on because they're again a Korean family in Arkansas and trying to adapt, sort of thing. So there's a lot of racism that goes on there. There's also just a lot of.
Here's a list if you were trying to figure out who this.
Yeah, is it? I apologize for my.
This guy with a glorious mustache right here.
Oh, he'd be like the first American dude on the list. So
Daryl Cox.
I don't know what his name is, but he's also in like
Mr. Harlan was
Armageddon.
Did he
I remember
play Mr.
Armageddon. The guy that he did for his son. No, that's not him.
That's not him then.
The guy on Armageddon.
We're struggling here.
Yeah,
Ben Hall.
No.
Look at that mustache.
Anyway, so this guy plays on Armageddon. In this movie, he plays a kind of a out there crazy dude. I feel like he should have been nominated for an Oscar for supporting role for his role because
Will Patton.
Will Patton, yeah,
there you go.
He was great. Every time he was on the scene, it's like he's great.
Will Patton, wasn't he the guy on Gone in 60 Seconds?
Yeah, also Gone in 60 Seconds.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's like one of those like
real great guy, a lot of great roles.
Always supporting.
Always supporting role.
Supporting,
Yeah. But I will probably forget his name as soon as this podcast
I'm going to assume
is over.
this is a picture from The Postman because I think he was also the bad guy in The Postman.
Also, so the one of the other gals in there. So the little boy plays probably the supporting actor role. So that's probably why Will Patton didn't get it. But he did a great job. Fantastic. But the real story, the real show stealer to me, and I'm going to try and read her name here, and I apologize if I slaughter it, but Yoo Jung-yeon. Okay? So at first when she showed up on the screen, I wasn't real crazy about her role. I thought that she was just kind of taking up space, whatever, but she quickly became the whole point of the movie, and I loved it. So she's the grandma in here.
Okay.
So they're struggling, and they need somebody to help keep the kids in line and take care of the house and all that stuff while all this is going on. While Jacob, Stephen Yeun, is out there trying to raise the crops, and she's working at a chicken sexing farm, and
what?
Yeah. Apparently, it's a big thing.
Okay.
Well, I won't go into it too much, but you have to sex chicks at a certain age to see if they're going to be
male or female.
Because the males, they basically burn them.
Wow. Okay.
I wasn't aware of this either, but
Okay.
Anyway. Yeah, it was very. They never really went into it, but they just showed it that they're disposable, and then they just show a smokestack. So
well, I reckon that a rooster can't lay eggs.
Yep, they
so
can't.
you know
Their meat isn't as good,
Yeah.
so they talked about that. And it's like because you wonder about it, but you never know. It's like how the
things
sausage
you don't want to know, right?
how the sausage gets made. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So anyway, the real story with her is she reminds me a lot of my grandma Barb. And you don't know my grandma Barb real well. I don't know if you ever met my grandma.
Oh yeah, no, I didn't.
Okay, all right.
Ran the ball diamond. Come on now.
Oh yeah. All right, perfect. But her mannerisms, like even the way she sat, like because she would sit with her leg. My grandma would sit with her leg pulled up on the chair. She would grab her leg and be playing solitaire on the table, kitchen table or whatever. This woman does the same thing, but she's sitting on the floor with her leg kicked up and she's playing some sort of Korean game that I don't understand. And she's pretty ornery at times, just kind of having a lot of fun. I don't know, but there's a lot of stuff. Even some of her expressions and stuff like that remind me of my grandma. But she was fantastic.
So you had a little bit of a personal connection to this.
I did.
Cool.
I told my wife, I'm like, I really reminds me of my grandma Barb.
Yeah.
So kind of cool.
That's always fun. I think whenever you watch any kind of movie, like if you have some sort of tied to, especially a memory, right? A memory of somebody. It just makes it so much more personable, right?
Exactly.
Because then all of a sudden it's like you're watching that every time she's on screen, you get a little bit of probably the case of the chills, right?
Yep, absolutely. So it was fantastic. I really enjoyed. I don't think Minari was a great movie.
It was fantastic. Okay.
Yeah.
It's wonderful.
Yeah. I don't think it was a great movie. I don't think it was a fantastic movie, but I think it was a glorious role by her. So
one of the things that I've noticed, and maybe this is going to be a kind of a trend that we're going to continue to see, but it seems like the Korean film aspect has been starting to see coming over to the States, right? A lot more, because we just watched Parasite for the first time.
Oh yeah.
Holy cow, that movie! It's amazing.
Yeah, absolutely, fantastic.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
and this woman, again, I'm going to try her name one more time here. It is Yoo Jung Yeon, or Yoon, I think Yeon, but she's actually, like, it sounds like she's a huge deal over. Like it sounds like she is she's been the gold standard for actresses over there. So I did a little research on her, and she talked about how highly revered she is over there, and it makes me want to watch more of her movies. So but I couldn't find any that I could get over here, but like there are some that I'm going to keep an eye on and see if I can get a subtitled version of them sometime, because they look great.
We actually ran into that, me and Mr. Matt Zimmerman, when we were going through
Big Zim.
Yeah, Big Zim, and talking about that poster that you got us, and we had to scratch off. Well, there were several Indian films, right? And I want to say Lagan and Bahubali, but Lagan and The Three Idiots have the same actor in them.
Yeah.
And come to find out, talking with a few folks that I work with, Sashi and Rishi, and talking with those guys, that he's a huge star in India then, right? And so I think it's really fun to start watching some of these, we always call them foreign films, but it's actually fun to start seeing the main actors that aren't our main actors here in the States, right? And it's like, no, this guy's the Brad Pitt of India, right?
Yeah. So a movie that is completely subtitled, and you think you'd miss a lot, and I probably did, I guess. But Three Idiots, stupid good movie.
All is well.
That's not fantastic. Yeah.
All
is
well. Yeah. No,
I actually found myself singing that song afterwards.
The Three Idiots is if honestly, we're going to sit here and talk about, of course, the 2020 or 2021 Oscars or whatever, but The Three Idiots, that's actually a fairly old movie, but that movie is one of the greatest movies I think you could go watch.
Yeah,
so,
it's a great
storyline.
Stupid good. Much better than fantastic.
Yeah, that main actor is, I get why he is the star. So another one, too, just while we're saying this on subtitled movies, have you seen City of God?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Another one.
Great movie.
Yeah, that's Brazil, I believe, Brazilian. So
I think it is. I think you're right. I think it's Rio de Janeiro.
Yeah, that is an amazing movie as well.
Yeah,
so
absolutely, that's a dark good movie.
Yeah,
but Three Idiots is a comedy, and but
Three Idiots has some dark stuff in it though too. So
if
you remember, it's the stress of the guys going to college. There's a little bit of like some suicidal aspects in there.
Well, don't give it away. They got to watch it.
Why don't you? Come on now.
Yeah, yeah. So, So next one, Nomadland.
Here's the thing.
All right, let's hear it. What's the thing?
Here's
Clint?
the thing with Nomadland.
Is the thing fantastic?
Yeah. Here's the thing with Nomadland. Within 5 minutes of you finishing watching this, every single person jumped on Craigslist or Facebook Marketplace to just see how much is a van.
Yeah, I agree. Totally agree.
Like, I kind of want this lifestyle.
Yeah. It does. I mean, like, I don't know if I want that lifestyle. There was a lot of stuff that was not.
Well, yeah, no, I definitely, yeah.
But yeah, that van would be great. It's like, yeah, we could go see Bills games in that.
There is something, though, incredibly freeing about Nomadland.
It is.
And there is something that for those of you out there with a bunch of debt, and whether it's student loans or a mortgage or whatever, right? We are all tied to something, right? Or a majority of us are. Tied to payments, tied to, like I said, debt. In Nomadland, you watch it, and it's like it's this freeing, free-spirited movement, right? Where it's like, I can sell all of my stuff. I can buy a van or a camper or whatever.
Yeah, live down by the river.
Yeah, and on loads of government cheese. But I don't have to pay property tax. I don't have to stay in the same spot. Jump from job to job, make enough to live well, right?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. There's something freeing about it.
Absolutely. If you have a hard day at work, a stressful day at work, you tell me that doesn't sound like a great idea. Like, there's no death, there's nothing. So they're just living by the moment.
Yeah. And I tell you what, there is something too, though. Like you talk about that. When I have a stressful day at work, I jump in my Jeep and I go cruise around, right? And there is something like they can just jump in their van and they drive to the next town that they want to go hang out in.
Yep, absolutely. And that's the thing. I think that was kind of the picture they were trying to paint there later on, where they had. I think it was her sister, where she stopped at her sister's house, and her sister had the up and coming. Seemed like it was a lot of money, great place. They really wanted her to stay there, but she just didn't want to do that because she likes the freedom of the road.
Well, even the second time when she went to her that boyfriend of hers, and he was there with his daughter or whatever else, right? And they offered for her to stay, and she kept looking out the window at her van and ultimately leaves and jumps in her van, right?
Yep.
And there's just like this freeing aspect of it. And I think the part that I took away from that movie is once you do, if you ever made that leap, and I'm probably never going to make that leap, but if you ever did, I think what this movie's trying to tell me is you can't just go back.
Yeah.
It's like once you cross the bridge is no longer crossable, right? Like you can't go back.
I see that, but I also think that my takeaway from it would have been that not everybody's paradise is the same.
Yeah, no, absolutely, yeah.
That would be my ultimate overall thing is like what she wanted, what her sister wanted for her, what he wanted. Even that changed, and what he wanted ended up being this,
the community aspect too was kind of fun, right? But and I know like they wanted to paint that picture like these folks have a different style of community, but I look at that. You and I are from small towns. Yeah. Honestly, it's the same thing that you get in a small town, right? Yep. It's 100 people that got together. Just so happened they had vans instead of houses or trailers, right? I mean, that's how I look at that aspect. I didn't think it was. I think they were trying to paint that a different picture, but again, you and I coming from the small towns where it's like, I don't know.
So two other things I wanted, or three things I guess here, talking about that one. Directing. I feel like this would be a good one for directing.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
A little bit.
Acting was phenomenal. I thought the acting was great too.
That's what I was going to say. The third thing would be Frances McDormand and the acting. Actually, I forgot the guy's name. It's Ben. Wrote it down here, but
no, David.
Oh, David Strath. Yeah, I can't read my own writing. Strathairn or whatever. But regardless, he's in a lot of movies, and he was. It's like, oh yeah, I know that guy from a ton of movies. Like, no, I know that guy from like a bit part in every movie.
movie, yeah.
Yeah, but Frances McDormand is going to be the gold standard in acting or actressing in America right now. Everything she's in. Her
ability to portray a realistic person, because I think like the one thing I would state about her is every role there is a similar aspect, and that's that she can connect with anybody probably within like 5 minutes of being on screen, right? I mean, you could connect with her character immediately, and I think that goes with a lot of roles that she does do. One of the things that I disliked about this movie, I would say first off, I guess before I get in there, rewatchability. This is a zero rewatchability. Yeah, zero. I never want to see this movie again. So
keep going. But would you recommend watching this to anybody?
I would recommend watching it. It's like I said, it's a good movie.
Yeah.
Just a zero watchability.
I'm not going to recommend this one to anybody to watch. I think it was a good movie. I'm glad I watched it. But I don't think that it would be something where I'm going to tell anybody to watch it. You know.
I like people to endure the same thing I did, though. So,
endure. You shouldn't have to endure a movie. That's what I'm trying to say.
Here's my issue, though, with it. At one point in time, you're in a van and you have no ties to the world and you can just leave and go. Why is she in a van freezing her tail off? Like, why would you not just go south?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, for 100% of the time. Yeah. Like, that one time they're like, ma'am, we think you're going to freeze to death. And she's like, no, I'll be okay. I'm like, why is this even a thing?
I totally agree with that. Yeah. Move with the weather or something like that. Yeah. Like, you can stay.
Drive across Mexico. Like, go do something. But get out of the freezing -0. Or
follow the ducks,
zero.
man. Follow the ducks.
Yeah. That was a frustrating point to me. I'm like, I don't even know why this is a thing. You should not
totally
be
agree.
trying to sleep in a van down by the river eating loads of government cheese when it's -20 out. So
Okay, so next one. This is going to be a fun one. Promising Young Woman.
wow. Okay, so out of man, I would almost have to say out of every movie that we're going to talk about here, this one is probably my favorite.
Yeah, so I would totally agree with that.
Rewatchability is a 10.
Oh yeah.
Like this is fun. Like, and it's such a.
So
like you got to realize before we get into it, when I keep stating that it is fun, it's a dark story.
Dark.
I mean, there's a lot of darkness to it, and the underlying tone is dark.
It's not even a darkness tone. I mean, it is the darkest movie on this list.
Yeah,
when when it comes down to, this is the darkest movie on this list. However, the way it is done is so perfect and so great, and it tells a story about which is a very it's the Me Too movement. Basically, there's a lot of that Me Too movement stuff here, but it is done in such a celebratory way, I guess is the best way I can put it, where it's.
I mean, she basically, it's a movie about. It starts out where you think that it's about men getting
preyed on by women,
preying on drunken women and things of that nature, right? But it's really her going out pretending to be drunk, right?
Twist alert.
A little bit of a twist alert, but basically acting to be drunk, putting guys in that situation where they're trying to take advantage of her, and then her basically I thought she was killing them at first, by the way. Like,
okay, so I don't want to go to spoilers here, but you notice the difference in the color in her journal, right?
Oh, is that how that was?
Yeah. So like when she writes your name down, it's one color or the next. So
see, I missed that.
So like there's not.
It's the red and blue ink I think she was using.
Correct. Like she even said, so like at one point, Mick. Oh, come on. From Superbad.
Oh yeah. McLovin.
So McLovin was what played a part in this movie. And she's like, you're lucky because of this, and whatever. And she wrote his name in like the green or whatever it was.
Okay, I was taking it.
But the first guy was written in red.
And that's where she had like the ketchup, like all, because like she was eating a hot dog or whatever.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
Okay. Because that's why I thought she was like killing these guys. Until
that's the way I took. So. Maybe I've only watched this once, but that's the way I took it. And we're not giving away spoilers because it's the precedence of the movie. It's basically
this is just kind of the startup of the
exactly
the start of it. So.
All of what we're talking about is the first 20 minutes of the movie.
Yeah.
So,
but no, it had a very, like I said, a very dark tone, but it also had, at one point in time, it had a beautiful love story, kind of wove into it. Bo
Burnham. I kept thinking, I'm like, who is this guy? I'm like, I can't think of any movie he's from. It's because he's not from a movie. He's just a stand-up comedian.
Oh, there you go. It's like, because I recognize him.
Yeah,
so.
he's like that clip you'll see on like a random social media post where you see a video and it's just him saying some funny stuff, and it's like, oh, that's that guy. And that's how I knew him from.
And that's what was interesting. Like you go through the whole story. I really enjoyed their storyline, right? Mm-hmm. And then like towards the end, you find out other things, and it's just like, man, this is taking a turn.
Yeah.
Just a big turn.
Yeah.
The end of it is worth a watch just in itself. But again, a great story. So
yeah, absolutely. Carey Mulligan was the lead actress in that movie. And
have I ever seen her before?
I think I keep mentioning my wife in this one because I watch all these movies with my wife, but I think her and I had the same conversation, and I think we looked it up, and she might have been in something else that we, but it wasn't anything as big as this.
Okay, I'm gonna say because I didn't recognize her at all. No. So, but I will state, like I said, out of this entire list, I watch out with my wife as well. Again, our favorite movie out of everything.
I was gonna say, I'm gonna probably say I'm struggling to say this, but I would probably say it's my favorite movie. If there's one movie on this list that I say please go watch, it is definitely this one.
Yeah, it has it's got probably the best rewatch. It's got a powerful story. It has fun. It's got darkness to it. It's got a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
got a little bit of everything.
I loved it. I absolutely love this movie, and that was like I said, if there's one movie that we recommend off this, or that I recommend off this list at least, it's that one. Go watch that one for sure. Promising Young Woman. So next up, we have what I would consider probably the best movie on this list.
You're gonna go with the best movie on the list.
Best movie on the list.
Okay.
I'm gonna say Sound of Metal. I mean, I'm not saying my favorite. I'm not saying the most rewatchable. Nothing. All that aside, I just think the best overall content, and I'm talking about the fact that the storyline, the acting, the visuals, the struggles, everything about it. I feel like this is the best movie on the list.
I'm gonna have to respectfully disagree with you.
Fair enough.
I think the struggles on the list. I think I'd still have to go with probably The Father with Anthony Hopkins' character. I feel probably has the struggles part locked down. But no, I mean, so what is it? This is a movie about a heavy metal drummer that loses his hearing.
Correct.
Right.
Correct.
And basically is trying to come to life after losing his hearing.
Well, yeah, it's almost like he's trying to. It's that balance where he's trying to learn to. First off, he's kind of in a denial for a while, and then he's trying to figure out what the best course of action is, whether it's to accept his fate and learn to live with it, or try and defeat it and that sort of thing. And I mean, not defeat it, but try and do. There's a lot of questions here that are on a different level than just what's face value, I guess, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, because I think on some of this, there's different paths. We don't want to give the entire story away here. So, but there's different paths that he can take, right?
Correct.
And he takes one path, and he's on a great path and on a great trajectory with building great relationships. And then at some point, kind of deviates from that path, right? And so I think there's always those battles, those internal battles that you have, trying to figure out what is best for the overall aspect and what's best for you at the time.
Yeah,
right?
best for you, exactly. And that's the thing. Like, it's one of those things. Like, and I don't know if we're the type of people that can actually answer this because of the fact that we are not in that situation. We're not deaf or blind or anything like that. But the thing is, like, I feel like there's a story to be told. There's a lesson to be learned here, and I feel like it's a pretty harrowing tale.
I can't say though, like watching the main character, anytime that you're watching a movie like this, especially a heavier movie, you always try to put yourself in that situation as best as you can, right? I mean, again, we haven't went through those trials and tribulations like that, but I would state that I don't think that this character did anything that I wouldn't have done, right? Like some of the decisions, I'm not saying 100% of everything, but I think a lot of the main decisions that he was going through and some of the heartache that he was going through, I feel like I could relate to that.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I've thought about it a lot of times, like if I couldn't.
Who was the main actor?
Riz, and again, I apologize if I'm slaughtering the pronunciation because I'm only reading it. But Riz Ahmed.
Okay. I thought he did a great job.
He was great.
Yeah.
He was great. So I loved his acting. I loved his role. I loved everybody in this movie. I feel like it was great. Like I said, I feel like it was the best movie of all.
Well, I mean, so basically it was a part of The Father with somebody going through, like a major transition here, and Nomadland kind of put together.
Yeah, I would say that. Yeah, because you've got the cinematography and the acting, that sort of thing. Plus, you've got the struggles there. I feel like it really does hit on almost all of the spots. So go ahead, but my ultimate question is going to be, what would you say is going to win the Best Picture Oscar?
Yeah, so before I get to answering your question, there is one thing I want to say about Sound of Metal, and I've found myself thinking this in actually several different movies. I'm starting to see a trend in movies, which I think is actually a really cool thing.
My bow tie.
But we're starting to see a lot of sign language being worked into different types of movies, right?
Yeah.
This movie is another one, and like I said, there's actually been multiple ones. I was thinking of when I say movies, I'm also thinking some of the video games. Spider-Man Miles Morales
absolutely.
had this aspect in it. But it makes me want to learn sign language.
I totally agree. We talk about things that we should have learned in high school and stuff like that. Like we learned Spanish or French. Well, those were our options at our school. I don't know what was at your school, but I feel like sign language should have been at the top of that list.
I definitely feel like that.
Yeah, like why aren't more people learning sign language?
Yeah.
Because that's a great. I mean, like if you learn sign language, not only could you communicate to someone who is deaf. But you could also communicate to somebody like across the street or something, or just in a situation where you can't hear or whatnot. I really like even someone speaking Spanish. Maybe there's a bridge there too. So
and actually, speaking of that, the interesting part about that, they said that's actually one thing to come from the pandemic, right? Has actually been a higher recognition of this, because if you've seen any political speaker up there, whether it's your governor or whoever else, who's standing there next to him signing, right?
Yeah.
And there's actually a specific type of signing, and tell me what this is out there, because I can't think of it off.
Put it up there.
Yeah. It's like ASL or something.
Yeah. My
like
wife
that.
would say it right off the bat.
But it actually has more emotion to it, right? Yeah. And but anyway, the pandemic has actually brought a higher degree of recognition to it, because we've seen our governor with the other person that's standing there that's doing all the signing, and I think this movie plays right into that aspect.
It really does.
Which I would state it probably came out in the perfect year that it should have came out.
I agree. I think that a lot of these movies are, so perfectly timed.
Very relevant. Right?
Yeah, very relevant. How is that possible that like the I guess it's just predicting the future type of thing, because you see where things are going, but like these movies are so perfectly timed with our current climate. Like
there's definitely several of these that I would end up stating that I think have direct ties to nowadays, right? I think if you look at Judas and the Black Messiah and the Trial of the Chicago 7, those are incredible racial ties that we're seeing huge impacts of that, right?
Absolutely.
And we're seeing just more and more awareness of that. So I think
same thing with Minari, though. You look at the things that are going on with Asian cultures, and right now, like they have this movie. You see the racism in Minari, and then you see like what's going on right now. They couldn't have. I couldn't imagine them have predicted that to be part of this.
And we also see this with. We haven't talked about it, but Ma Rainey's Black Bottom.
Oh
right?
Yeah. That's what that whole
Yeah, that's a ton of racial aspects within there as well. And you have One Night in Miami, and which
we didn't even mention that one.
Which I thought would.
Is it not nominated for anything? I'm sure it's nominated for like.
It's not on Best Picture, and I am incredibly shocked that it's not.
I bet it's on original screenplay or adapted screenplay.
Supporting actor Leslie Odom Jr. is definitely on there.
Yep, adapted screenplay. So One Night in Miami. But anyway, so we're talking about all these movies. Which one is your pick for Best Picture?
So if I had to go with Best Picture out of this, I'm gonna go of who I think's gonna win.
Okay.
Give
me who you want to win and who you think's going to win, because I feel like those are two different things, especially for a podcast like this, where like for me, my favorite is almost never the same thing as who I think is going to win.
I would like to see the Trial of the Chicago 7 win.
Okay.
And I think Judas and the Black Messiah will.
I am almost right there with you. I think that I would like to see the Trial of Chicago 7 win. Sleeper for the not Promising Young Woman. Sleeper for that one. But ultimately, I think it's going to be The Sound of Metal.
Yeah, again, my favorite movie on the list is Promising
Young
Woman. But that's who I want to win and think to win.
You're right. And Trial of Chicago 7 hits more check marks than Promising Young Woman does.
Yeah, I just feel like it has a couple things going for it. I'm like I said again, I think I'm pretty sure it's a Netflix release, so that would be I would assume a first of its kind if a Netflix movie hasn't already won Best Picture, but I don't think it has.
Well, Roma did.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. No, so take that out. But the other thing is the star-studded cast of Trial of the Chicago 7 is just
I would
comparable to every other.
Yep, I would agree with all that. Like I said, that would be my who I want to win. I still think that Sound of Metal will probably win, but I haven't seen Judas and the Black Messiah, so I can't disagree with that.
I truly think like that's what's actually going to take it.
I'm upset that I haven't watched that before this podcast then. So
I think it just, I don't know. I think it's one of the most powerful movies out there. So
how about actor in a leading role? So we have Riz Ahmed, Chadwick Boseman, Anthony Hopkins, Gary Oldman, and Steven Yeun.
Yeah, so I can only speak to a couple of these. Riz Ahmed, I can't give it to him. I don't think that he gets it. And maybe I'm being too critical, but great role. If I were comparing him and Anthony Hopkins wins that all day long.
Yeah.
The only one that I'm gonna put up there with Anthony Hopkins is gonna be Chadwick Boseman.
Yeah.
And Chadwick Boseman's role in Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, it was great, right? And it was very much a they did a lot of older playwright feel in that movie, right?
Yeah.
Like the way that they would turn the camera to him and he says what he needs to say, and the interactions back and forth felt very much like you were watching almost like a live action play. The other thing that I like about that, it also reminded me of Spike Lee's "Do the Right Thing." Is what this reminded me of. Because,
I haven't seen that, so I
yeah, well, in one of the things I remember about Spike Lee's "Do the Right Thing," the heat and the sweat was an intense aspect.
Yeah.
And that was an intense aspect on Ma Rainey's Black Bottom.
Absolutely.
You can just tell, like they're wiping away their brow.
Same thing with
right?
Viola Davis. Viola Davis. We'll get to that because we're going to talk about lead actress. But Viola Davis, like her boobs and the boob sweat should have got a supporting actress, because it was like Kayla's like, she's really shiny. Like,
but that I think was a thing. Again, I go back to Spike Lee's "Do the Right Thing" because that was a primary aspect of that. Yeah. So I think Chadwick Boseman's role in that was awesome. Yeah. I think that is. I got to call it out. It is amplified that he's no longer with us.
Yep. So with that being said, when I saw that he was nominated, I'd watched The Father and I'd watched The Sound of Metal, and I thought to myself, man, I love Chadwick Boseman, but I don't want him to get this posthumously just because he's passed on. Yeah. However, then I watched Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. It's like, I don't know. I mean, like, and the thing is, I think Riz Ahmed, and I don't think Gary Oldman stands a chance. I don't think Steven Yeun stands a chance. Maybe I'm off on that, but I think they're just kind of additions there. I think that it's down to basically those three. And my opinion is Riz Ahmed, when I first watched that one, it's like, man, it's going to be hard to beat him. And Anthony Hopkins, the last half hour of that movie or whatever, it's incredible. I'm like, nobody's going to beat him. It's obviously Anthony Hopkins. Until I watched Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. It's like, all right.
I would have to put my top two is going to be Chadwick Boseman and Anthony Hopkins. And number three right there, close, but is going to be Riz Ahmed. I think it's going to be between those two. Yeah. And I don't think it will be anybody besides those two. So
I would agree.
That's where I'm going to go with.
All right. How about actress in a leading role? We got Viola Davis for Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. Andra Day in the United States versus Billie Holiday. You seen that one?
I have not, and I've not seen the Pieces of a Woman either. So.
Okay, so Vanessa Kirby, Pieces of a Woman, Frances McDormand, Nomadland, and Carey Mulligan, Promising Young Woman. I'll lead out with this one because you said you haven't seen Pieces of a Woman. Yep. Pieces of a Woman. I'm going to say that's probably my pick, or Viola Davis. Viola Davis obviously was fantastic, but Pieces of a Woman is about a woman who basically has the first few minutes, it's her having a baby. It's ultimately not stillborn, but it dies shortly afterwards. And it's a relationship where they're trying to build or pick back up their relationship, and it's just a very messy thing. But she's great. I mean, like in the first 20 minutes, you're thinking, man, she can win an Oscar for this one. So
I think I'm going to go with Frances McDormand.
I think
that's where I'm going to go with.
I can't disagree with that. I feel like if she's in a movie, she's probably worthy.
If I'm again back to my last one. I got to pick two because I mean that doubles my chances of being right. Frances McDormand is my first one. Viola Davis is going to be my second one. I think Viola Davis made that movie.
Is it Viola? I say Viola.
Viola. I don't know.
I don't know either.
She made the movie though.
Yeah.
I mean that I loved that character.
Oh yeah, she was great.
Just very
Absolutely.
brash and out there. And Carrie Mulligan?
Yeah.
Loved her.
I would love it if she won.
No, I just don't think she won.
I would love it if she won, but she's not going to.
I don't look at that role. So, and here's how I base a lot of this, and y'all out there can tell me whether I'm wrong or right. I look at folks and I say, can somebody else play that role? And I think for Carrie Mulligan, a lot of other actresses could have played that role. And no matter how much I love the movie, a lot of other actresses could have played that role, and I probably would have liked it as much.
Yeah.
You know what? Who played Harley Quinn? Why am I?
Margot Robbie.
Yeah, like could have played that.
Yeah,
and it would have been amazing.
Robbie. But yeah. I totally
see
agree.
What I'm saying?
Yeah, it's very similar. I mean, there's even I could see where you're even thinking of that.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like I could see other actresses playing that, which is why I could never. I feel like if you're getting the best actor in a leading role or best actress in a leading role, that means that you played a role that nobody else can play, right? Like Anthony Hopkins, I look at that role and I'm like, I don't know who would have stepped in there.
So ultimately, what is your final actress? What is it?
I said Frances McDormand.
Frances McDormand
is going to be my lock-in.
I'm going to go Viola Davis. Frances. Yeah, I'm going to go Frances No, I'm not going to go. I'm going to. Because I got to lock something in here.
You got to lock it. Which one are you locking in? You've named
Vanessa Kirby.
Vanessa Kirby.
Okay.
Okay. All right. How about actor in a supporting role?
Actor in a supporting role. Okay, so we have Mario Bakalova from Borat, the subsequent movie film. Oh no! I'm looking at actor. Sorry.
Yeah, actor.
Actor in a supporting role. Sacha Baron Cohen in Trial of Chicago 7, Daniel Kaluuya in Judas and the Black Messiah, Leslie Odom Jr. in One Night in Miami, Paul Raci in Sound of Metal, and Lakeith Stanfield in Judas and the Black Messiah. I feel like I slaughtered all those names.
Probably.
Yeah. Oh. But I'm going to stamp Sacha Baron Cohen because I just feel like it's a slam dunk there. I don't think and again, I haven't seen Judas and the Black Messiah, so am I missing something there?
Yeah, no, I think you are. I
Okay.
mean, I think you're definitely missing something there. I think, yeah, I think, man, I don't know. I want to say Leslie Odom because I thought Leslie Odom played.
I think he did good.
Awesome.
Really?
I don't know. I just loved it.
He did really good, and I feel like you love Leslie Odom. I feel like a Hamilton podcast is a natural. We should do one of those just like on a random one.
I'm gonna lock in Daniel Kaluuya.
Yeah.
For Judas and the Black Messiah.
Okay.
He's the one that played Fred Hampton.
Okay.
And I think like you love Fred Hampton after watching this movie.
Really?
Yeah. And so that's going to be my lock-in.
Okay. I can't wait to watch this movie. I'm upset that I didn't watch it. I do want to throw out there though that the Sacha Baron Cohen, his character was also the guy that talked to Forrest Gump in Forrest Gump at the Washington Monument.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah. I'm like, I paused it at that moment. I'm watching again.
Yeah, I remember like when he's sitting there. Yeah, talking.
He's like, talk about the war, man.
And that's when they unplugged him, and
he
couldn't hear anything.
And so when you're seeing the movie and you see him speaking to a crowd, and he's wearing that American shirt, button-up shirt, I'm like, I know this guy.
This is the Forrest Gump.
Yeah, exactly. And I wish I would have named his name. Can we put it up here? His name? Put it up there.
Right there.
Put up his real name. Because
all right,
the big part. Yeah.
How about actress in a supporting role?
Actress in a supporting role. Okay, so we have Maria Bakalova and Borat, the subsequent movie film, and I love that is nominated because she did great. And you never see a film like this nominated, but I love that she is. Glenn Close and Hillbilly Elegy.
I tell you what, Borat can get a nomination, but I tell you what, none of the Avengers can.
Oh yeah,
you just can't get You can't get one of those movies to get something. All right. Sorry,
okay. Yeah.
Soured.
So Glenn Close, Hillbilly Elegy, Olivia Colman, The Father, Amanda Seyfried, Mank, Yu Jung-yeon, Minari. So for me, before all this went down, I would have said Glenn Close because she played a really non-Glenn Close role in Hillbilly Elegy.
Never seen it, so I can't.
It's not a real great movie, but she was great in it. I ultimately want to say Yu Jung-yeon because, and I don't know if it's because she reminds me of Grandma, but I feel like she carried that movie the moment she stepped on, and one way or the other, she carried that movie.
So here's the thing: I'm going to put my stamp.
Okay.
Looking at this list,
yeah.
Now the problem is I've really only seen 2 on this list. So Hillbilly Elegy, I have not seen, and Mank I really didn't watch, all that much of, and then Minari I haven't seen either. So I've seen Borat, and I've seen The Father. Listening to you on this podcast this evening,
yep,
while dressed in these fantastic tuxes brought to you by Ducky's Formal Wear in Galesburg, Illinois. I'm going to have to go with Yoon Jung-yoon.
Yeah, she was great.
Yeah, I mean, Yu Jung-yoon. That's who I'm going to have to go with. You sold me on it.
Yeah.
So
I hope that you guys do watch it. If you watch that movie, watch it almost exclusively for her because when she shows up, the movie instantly gets better. And there's a couple that she's very comical and very...
My second one is going to be Amanda Seyfried, just because I know she's just
my second one would be
she's an awesome actor.
My follow up would be Glenn Close because she really did some great stuff there. So
I do want to say I know that we're kind of done here, but as far as for this list, but I do want to throw out animated feature film.
Yeah, talk about that because I have not seen any of these on this list.
So I've only seen a couple of them: Onward and Soul.
Yep.
Both of them great movies, and I would recommend them to anybody. I would love to say I hope to see Onward win it.
Okay, really?
Yeah,
really. Okay, I've heard good things about that one.
Yeah, I liked.
I thought Soul would be like the slam dunk or whatever, but
yeah, Soul was it was great as well. But Onward, I think, had more of a. I just enjoyed this storyline a little bit more, and you kind of have a little bit of magic and a tale that they're going on and an adventure, and you also have Chris Pratt.
He was campaigning for it to get an Oscar.
Yeah, so I think I would select Onward. If Onward doesn't win, it's definitely going to be Soul, though. So Jamie Foxx did do a fantastic job. It reminded me, let me know what you all think out there, but Inside Out. Have you ever seen Inside Out? Absolutely hilarious,
absolutely.
Right? I loved that's probably one of my more favorite movies just because of the hilarious antics between everything. It's like instead of feelings and everything, now you have this soul aspect. So it's kind of like playing off of that piece of it. So I did enjoy that, and I enjoyed that there was a deeper message within Soul, and I liked that piece too. So. Again, enjoyed it. I just think Onward was more fun.
So I haven't seen any of these movies, but I want to do a complete wild card here. Just because I saw the trailer recently, all I've seen is a trailer, but it was literally yesterday while I was watching something and it started playing. Wolfwalkers. That's an Apple movie.
I have no clue. Never heard of it.
It looked incredible.
Didn't you say you watched one of the animated short films, though?
Oh, yeah, I did. So I do want to say that, and I think that's how I ended up watching the trailer for the Wolfwalkers.
For the Wolfwalkers? There you go.
Yeah, it looked really good, and it's a really cool animation. I don't know if it's any good or not, but I plan on watching that one before then. Anyway, so I do want to talk about animated shorts. I saw one of these. It is on Netflix. I believe it's on Netflix. And that animated short is If Anything Happens, I Love You. Okay?
You said this was deep.
This is an incredible movie. I almost wish that I would have led with this so that people that are just tuning in, because if you got 12 minutes, if you have 12 minutes and a Netflix account, watch If Anything Happens, I Love You. Bring some tissues. That movie, that 12-minute video, that 12-minute short And I haven't seen many of these. I've seen a couple of the live actions. I've seen a couple of these. But that one right there was so powerful. And I don't think I have to see these other ones to know that one's going to win.
Wow.
12 minutes. And
locking it in then.
Locking it in. All and right. It is so powerful. 12 minutes. And it is a game changer. Fantastic movie. So watch. If anything happens, I love you.
Well, I tell you what, you know that it must be good because Chad said it was fantastic.
Did I say fantastic?
You
again?
did, yeah. Absolutely. That's what you just said.
Man. All right, next time we're going to just post a thesaurus right here.
I'm going to start beeping out every time we say fantastic.
and post it in with a completely random accent or something like that. Just a Creole accent. Like, is Gambit saying, like...
What's the inappropriate censorship or something that they do, like where they beep out like words that aren't bad, but it makes it sound then it makes it sound bad. Like that's what we're gonna start doing with fantastic. So okay,
maybe we should just start putting in inappropriate words. We should start swearing more to cut out fantastics.
Well, I tell you what, Chad, just looking at what we've went through here today, I got to agree with you. And you started the evening out by stating this, and I'm going to have to agree with this. I think the lineup of this year's Oscar nominations, specifically for Best Picture, I don't think there's hardly a bad picture out there.
No, and again, like we mentioned, they're accessible. So, like, if you're interested in watching the Oscars this Sunday, I mean, like, you can watch some of these and have a great time and just have a dog in the fight. And it's a great year to watch. If you've never been an Oscar fan, this is a great year to start. Yeah. What else are you going to do? I mean, dude, we got too much. You can't hardly do anything right now. So watch the Oscars.
Streaming also leads to easier ways of watching because, especially for those of you that are married or have a significant other, if my wife doesn't want to watch one of these, but I do, incredibly easy to stream that and watch it, right?
Yeah.
Like where it's not like we have to pack the family up and go watch a movie in a movie theater, right? So it even gives some flexibility on that aspect, which I think it just makes it easier. I think it just makes it easier to
absolutely. This is obviously they extended the time frame too, but this is the first year where I will have, by the time this is all said and done, I will have watched every movie that I want to watch on this list. So.
I do have to say we didn't talk about it much. One Night in Miami, definitely worth a watch as well.
Yeah, so, I'm kind of sad that it's not on here more. It is adapted. Adapted screenplay. So
and actor in a supporting role. I would state out of all of the movies right here in here, it would have the next best cast from the Trial of the Chicago 7. Chicago 7, I think, has the best cast. One Night in Miami has the second best cast.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I'm going to
put my stamp on that.
I would agree with that. Ma Rainey's Black Bottom is the one we're talking about.
It's good too, but
even the supporting actors past, there's a
but One Night in Miami just has there is a few guys on there that are just they command the screen and it's absolutely fantastic.
I agree,
so.
and I'm really excited to see Sacha Baron Cohen. Oh, I mean we're talking about One Night in Miami and those two, but Sacha Baron Cohen, seeing him in a serious role was great.
Yeah, no, absolutely,
and also
All right, well, I tell you what. With that, I hope that you all have had a fun time with Chad and I sitting here on the red carpet, interviewing all these great people that are acting.
What time is Jennifer Lawrence stopping by?
Shortly hereafter.
Okay.
So yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
That's the whole reason I agreed to do this thing is I want to see Jennifer Lawrence. So.
But I tell you what, I do have to say thanks again to Ducky's Formal Wear in Galesburg, Illinois, for setting us up with some of the best-looking formal wear that we could ask for. I tell you what, I felt good tonight.
Yeah, I feel like they should sponsor every show. This should be our daily.
Like
attire.
This is just it. Like we're just gonna wear we're wearing tuxedos from here on out. Yeah, there you go. Also, I would ask that if you like this video, be sure to like the video. Subscribe and ring the bell to get notified each and every time that we put up new content. So with that, the credits are rolling.
Lights are coming on.
And that's the end of the show.